An actor's ability to live their character naturally on screen becomes an instant elevator on the part of the film, doesn't matter if the other departments have stumbled upon a little bit. Therefore, you have always seen me breaking down the performances in any film first because that's what our eyes catch impression of very easily. So hello Cinefam, and here are 12 actors who have given their 200% in their performances in multiple releases this year. And I certainly believe that 2022 belongs to them. So starting off with number 12, Shine Tom Chacko. Shine is a Malayalam actor who has always been infamous for his controversial statements rather than his professional front, but we must not ignore the sheer magic that he does on screen. Especially this year, he gave the most memorable performances of his career in Bhishma Parvam, Beast, Thalumala, and 5 other films. He was great in Kumari too, but his character development hindered him from giving an extraordinary performance. Number 11, Gayathrie Shankar. Gayathrie is one of the best actresses of our country in the recent times, and this year she has worked with many big names of the industry. Beginning of the year, we had her in Vikram as her namesake, where she created an impact in a role of just a few minutes. She played wife to Fahad Fasil's agent Amar in the film, who was brilliant as ever. In her next with Vijay Sethupathi, she was so brilliant that she is continuously garnered with all these awards. Her next, Nada Kesakodu, what a film it was. You'll have to watch this satire for Kunchako Boban, but Gayatri needs more appraisal for being so immersive as an actor, plus she has an excellent script choice. Number 10, Tahir Raj Bhasin. Tahir had Ye Kali Kali Aankhein in January, and what a show it was. Actually, the bundle of works he's been doing is just so impressive as they are something new every time. In Ranjish Hi Sahi, he played Shankar Vats, which is unofficially based on Mahesh Bhatt, and man did a fine job. Similarly, in Loop Lapeta, he was brilliant as Satya, and the film is a technical win for the Hindi film industry. Overall, I was his fan the entire year, and I'm quite excited to see what's next on his part. Number 9, Sohini Sarkar. An actor who made her debut with a TV series almost a decade ago in West Bengal is now one of the finest actresses of India. Sohini is a talent that needs to be recognized by the entire nation, as it's high time that she's proven her mettle with each project she comes with. This year she transcended us with Laili in Manda as the Lady Macbeth in Anirban Bhattacharya's directorial debut and adaptation of the Shakespearean classic. The cold eyes with cold-blooded attitude, she pierced our hearts. Then in Srikanto, she won over us again as Rajloki. You can know more about these in both the reviews that are live on my channel. Then again on Hoichoi, she had Sampurna, where she effectively caught all the attention as a housewife fighting with her family against her sister-in-law's sexual abuse. Lastly, there was Ananta the Eternal on Z5, where she barely had dialogues, but what a heartbreaking portrayal it was of Mishtu, a woman who's traumatized since childhood with her parents' constant fights and her mother's death. Here we see a doomed romance between her and Ritvik Chakraborty's unambitious, depressed Shubho. A lot of scenes in Ananta are inspired from Wong Kar-wai's In the Mood for Love. Let me know in the comments if you want to know more about the film, and I'll make a video on it. And when Ritvik's there on screen, you can hardly watch anyone else, but the way Sohini portrayed Mishtu was so awe-inspiring that you would still feel for her character when she's not in the screen. Number 8, Satyadev Kancharana. Satyadev is an actor who started off with supporting roles predominantly in Telugu cinema. I really loved him in the Telugu series Logged in 2020. This year he was brilliant in and as Godse, and he made his Hindi debut with Ram Setu as AP and was widely loved and recognized the most in the cast for his lovely portrayal. I just feel so happy for him because he's gotten all that ultimate required recognition that was due since a long time. Guys, I missed Godfather, the Telugu remake of Mohanlal's Lucifer, but I'll catch it soon as I'm hearing all things good about him being in the film. Number 7, Sai Pallavi. She was the Queen of Hearts as Rosie in Shyam Singh Roy last year, but this year we had her in more realistic and demanding roles in Virata Parvam and Gargi. In Virata Parvam, we see the story of an innocent Vanilla who falls in love with an author after reading his book without even seeing him. Plot twist, he's an Naxalite. Sai Pallavi in her earnest portrayal of this naive girl is heartfelt. Similarly, Gargi, one of the best Tamil films of the year, explores her prowess finely. Aishwarya Lekshmi, who debuts as a producer, is also in the cast as Ahalya, an honest reporter. Gargi shows the tale of a daughter who's been sexually exploited as a kid tussles to know the truth of the crime that her father has been accused of, that is, a perpetrator of child abuse. Number 6. Amitabh Bachchan. I have finally come to this conclusion that it's impossible for me to watch this man in grief on screen. In Goodbye, he played this conservative and emotional father who's lost his wife, and we see everything that follows the funeral between him and his 4 adult children. Jhund by Nagraj Manjule was a great sports film, and Big B's performance was indeed brilliant. Then there was Uchai, where he again delivered quite well, and a cameo in our Balgi's Chup. The only bad thing from him to us this year was Brahmastra, that Guruji is probably one of the worst roles he's ever done. Number 5. Shefali Shah. What an enriching year has it been for her and also for us that we got to witness those overwhelming performances. She aced the high-profile roles of DCP Vartika Chaturvedi in Delhi Crime 2 and Dr. Gauri Nath in Human, both of them with so much ease, and she was absolutely menacing in the latter role. Then in the second half of the year, she explored roles from the lower economic strata and excelled as Shamshu in Darlings and Ruxana in Jalsa. To know more about her performance in Darlings, you can click on the link in the description which will take you to my review of Darlings. Number 4. Chiyaan Vikram. Vikram sir made his powerful comeback this year with Kartik Subbaraj's Mahan after a break of 2 years. This year all his characters stole the entire limelight in the films he's been in. In PS1, even though he played the Crown Prince Aditya Karikalan, he didn't had much screen time because there were many other important characters. Still, what he did with just his eyes and that baritone voice was heart-piercing. You can watch the entire review on my channel. Then in Cobra, I feel that he single-handedly saved the sinking ship because underwritten characters and messy execution has otherwise spoiled the film. He completely owned and lived his roles on screen for Cobra. Number 3. Rajkumar Rao. Once again, Raj has stolen our hearts with his performance-heavy roles this year. Be it the famous terrace scene where he hugs his mother, played beautifully by Shiba Chadda, or be it the whole Farsh Pe Khade sequence or the fight with Huma, which seems very real. Raj is a winner this year. You can watch my Badhai Do review to know more about his heartfelt portrayal of Shardul, a gay police officer in the film. Even in Hit, the first case, he is just superb and very natural as he always is. Number 2. Aishwarya Lakshmi. I think Aishwarya Lakshmi in 2022 is an absolute revelation for constantly choosing thought-provoking scripts and delivering in them. She is probably the only Indian actress to have so many decent releases in a single year. 9 films in 2022 from Aishwarya Lakshmi, guys. Starting from Telugu, because I've seen both her films in that language. In Ammu, where she convincingly plays a victim of domestic abuse, is just a sheer example of her possession of a wide range. Same goes in For God's Sake, in which her character Vaishali was completely different from the previous one, as she played a negotiator and did the job quite well. Moving on to Malayalam, Aishwarya in as Kumari was spectacular. She again had a very different role in Archana 31 Not Out, where she plays a school teacher who's had 30 failed proposals, and again she nailed it. The fact that she's had a very distinctive bunch of roles in 2022 in every other film and still she managed to convincingly portray each of her roles to perfection is insane to me. Moving on to her Tamil lot, her most loved character this year was the bold and bright Poonguzhali from PS1, and I'm just eagerly waiting to witness more of her in PS2. If you want to hear more good things about her, you can watch my review of PS1. In Gargi, she played a small role as I mentioned earlier. In Captain, she basically did a cameo, only reduced to a love interest for the protagonist. I think for now I can only be sorry for missing her other 2 releases, Pudam Pudu Kari and Gatta Kusti. I'll catch up with both of them, and let's move to number 1, Dulquer Salman. That's it. DQ is our man of the moment. Starting from his best of 2022 and from his entire filmography, Chup, The Revenge of an Artist. You gotta see the film right now if you haven't, and that's totally for its unique concept and Dulquer's effective presence and engaging performance. In Hey Sinamika, he did what he does best. I mean, come on, we all know that romance is Dulquer's thing, right? It was quite a talkative and expressive character, had a lot of dialogues, but Dulquer just slips very easily into Yaran. And the climax scene is really well acted by both Dulquer and Aditi. In Salute, we see him as a cop who's forced to be involved in a case of planting false evidence as all his seniors do so. What follows is his guilt after the happening. I think he did a pretty good job and made the film an interesting watch for us. Lastly, Sitaramam, one of the most successful and best films of 2022, is not the first we are seeing something of this sort, but the impact it makes with its simplicity in storytelling is what makes the film rare. Dulquer has obviously won millions of hearts as Ram. I mean, it's such a lovable character, and he was charming, realistic, and Dulquer as ever. You know what I mean, right? So that was it for our list. Tell me who's your favorite star of 2022. Follow me on Twitter for more filmy stuff, and do subscribe this channel. I'll see you soon. Love you all, and keep supporting, please.